we're gonna carve my favorite tractor on a box with my dad. It's a Panther automatic PTA 325. Tracing it, he's pushing hard, so then there's a lot of lines.
I take it off. And with this router, I'm going to take and I'm going to cut the outside outline of this tractor. And I'm actually going to make it so there's a recess in the wood so that this part is actually raised higher than the rest of the image. Now, when we do this, it's also going to be incredibly loud. So Hudson, he's going to wear some earbuds so he doesn't blow out his ears. Okay, so let's go get our earbuds on. Okay, now his ear wear is ready, because this is really loud. We don't want to damage our ears.
As you can see, my dad took the router and made it so he could try getting as close as he can, like right over here.
So we have some residual stuff left. So I have what we have right here is a little Stanley hand plane, and I'm going to take the rest of that off with the hand plane. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The router kind of rocked a little bit and it went too far down. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this little hand planer, ouch, I pinched myself. I'm taking this little hand planer and I'm just making it go a little bit deeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to work out some of these areas that have impurities. I'm also going to clean up the edge of the Steiger with this bit until it gets too small, then I'll have to change the bit again. See this impurity right here? I'm working that one out as well, just a little bit. It'll be easier to sand. So now this bit is way too big, so we need to switch to a smaller bit so we can fit into these angles, like for instance, where the stack is between the windshield of the Steiger. We're gonna have to go in there and just kind of eyeball it and hopefully we don't go too deep. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now that we look at this image, it appears really flat. So what we have to do to make this image look more three-dimensional is you take over here when you look at this picture that we're going off of, and it looks much more three-dimensional, even though it's still a flat image, right? So what we're gonna do is the areas, we have to imagine the areas that are closest to us if we were actually standing next to this tractor. This part would be pretty close to us, but this part right here would be the closest to us. So this is gonna be the highest point, and I'm probably gonna leave this point right here still really high on this image. The rest, I'm actually gonna taper back or try to taper them back and then make these wheels, this will go farther back than this will. So now you see those wheels that are behind on the other side of the tractor. I'm now carving these down to try to create the optical illusion that they're behind the tractor, if we can pull it off. Okay, so this one's recessed farther back, this one's farther forward, and of course these ones I'm not gonna take down at all. Okay, so now I cut the well and the wheel right there, and now I'm just gonna shave this top part off, and then we're just gonna eyeball that as best we can. I'm gonna keep tapering this back to try to create the illusion that this thing's actually going away from us. Okay, it will not be perfect, but the idea is I'm gonna try to fool the eye. Then I'm gonna go in here and carve this part out and dig it deep. Later on, when I burn it, it's gonna look like it's more recessed. Okay, so now we're gonna start working on the engine compartment right here and digging it down deep. I'm now gonna burn the inside of this. It'll help kind of clean it up and the burrs off, but it's gonna help hopefully create some depth to this, okay? So, see that tip turning bright red?
Yeah.
And you can use your wood burning tool to actually kind of cut into the wood a little bit to help create a straight edge. You just go slow and steady, and it'll actually help cut to make a straight edge. So you hear it whistle? It means it's too hot. So if we're trying to do detail, we'd be burning the crap out of the wood, which in this case we don't care. We're wanting to make this really dark.
Smells good.
It does. It smells really good, but sadly after being in a garage all day doing this, you can end up with a massive headache. We're taking a flat image and trying to make it look like it is dimensional. This window looks like it's around the smokestack. I need to clean this up more to get the smokestack away from the window. Now I've taken the window away from the stack and it looks more dimensional. So I'm going to cut deeper into this and I'm going to bring these ones back, just kind of like I did with these right here. We've got to recess this tire right here, clean this out a little bit, and then I need to recess this front part right here. So what I'm thinking of doing is burning it. 86 is good enough. Okay, so we look at it. Let's get an orange yet.
Yep. dad's gonna put the Panther automatic PTA 325. Now he's done burning the letters. I'm gonna color it.
Okay, we got done sealing it with that green paint. However, it was rubbing off too easy, so what we did is I sealed it with a small coat of epoxy resin that cures with UV light, which takes away some of the edge of the green away, but it still looks good. You definitely know it's still a Steiger. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna stain the box. I've already stained some of it. This is the stain that Hudson chose, which is provincial. So the canoe portion of the box, I've already stained it. It's still drying. It's got another hour and a half to go. But I just stained that, and then we'll stain the rest of this when Hudson gets back. I've got an idea. Doing that, we're gonna make it two-toned. So I was gonna do the whole top of the box, but just seeing that, I'm like, okay, now we're talking.
What are you gonna do?
We're gonna make the top part of the box a different color. So what we're gonna now do is put some natural on the top layer just to see if it looks good. If it doesn't, we'll just stain it over with the provincial. So as you can see, I didn't clean that up good enough, and so you can still see where the router bit dug into the wood too deep there. But once we put the side flanges and stuff, it'll make stuff kind of disappear a little bit, but that'll be there forever. It's not perfect, but it still looks pretty cool. What we're gonna do now is apply a coat of lacquer. I'm using satin because if you use gloss, it just shines too much and you lose your detail in your box. Another reason why I use lacquer is it dries relatively fast and you don't have to sand it most of the time. The only problem with lacquer is its smell. It's incredibly pungent. It's not good for you. In fact, they say you should be in a well ventilated room when you do lacquer because it kills some brain cells. And if you've seen me, undoubtedly I've used a little bit too much lacquer. Whenever you do lacquer, always check your corners because it always finds its way and clumps up on the corner. High strat stinks, huh?
Yeah.
That's why we have an open garage.
Open garage. Because when you don't do that, or you set the garage.
Nope, because it has to dry.
Yeah. Oh, so it needs light. Or you could just put it outside. Yep.
Another problem that you run into when you put lacquer or any polyurethane onto stuff that you've burned, it will turn white in areas where it pools, which there's only so much you can do. But what I found is if you go back, you can burn it out. Just make sure you do it in a well-ventilated area because once again, the fumes couldn't be beneficial at all to your health, let's be honest.